Today I'm gonna try to show y'all how to put epoxy on a tabletop, make it as good as I can, because I mean I've never really done epoxy before, but I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna see how it turns out, and y'all can see how mine turns out and do y'all's the exact same way if you want, or you can watch somebody else's video, but I'm just gonna test it out and y'all can watch how I do it. And if it turns out, then it turns out, and y'all can do it the exact same way. Works for me. Let's get into it though. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sand it down. And I'm gonna start from 80 grit to up to 400. But as you can see, I got stain right there. A few other spots need sanded down. It's a little scratched, and putting epoxy on it's just gonna give it like that extra coverage and keep it from getting scratched and tore up and stained like it is. So first things first, we're gonna start sanding it with an 80 grit sandpaper. Every time you sand it down, like through every piece of sandpaper you use, like all the way up to 400, I recommend getting a microfiber towel just to get all the dust off. And that's what I do. I mean, I don't know if it helps that much, but that's just what I do. Make sure when you're doing all the sanding that you, yes, definitely get the top of it, but get the sides too, because you don't want like everything to feel different. So next I'm gonna move on to sanding with 120 sandpaper, and then I'm gonna do 220, 320, and then 400, and then I'm gonna start mixing up my epoxy. But I recommend sanding all the way through. Don't skip either. I would recommend like going from one to the next. Don't go from 120 to 400. It's not gonna turn out how you think it will. Okay, now we're moving on to 320, but when I use 320 sandpaper, I like to get a finishing block. So I don't like to use like the power sander. I like to finish it by hand with 320 and 400. I just feel like it gives it like a cleaner look. And the power sander can be pretty rough on it sometimes. last one is gonna be my 400 grit sandpaper, and I'm gonna use that 400 or the finishing block for it.
Normally when I do this kind of stuff, I go over it twice with the 400. That's what I'm going to do. Just on the top, though. I did the sides one time. But notice I'm trying to keep this as straight a line as I can, so that it all just follows the same paths.
Okay, so now I'm getting ready to start mixing up my epoxy the best I can, and then I'm gonna lay some tarp down that I have out in the car. I gotta go grab it real quick, but I highly suggest laying something down that you don't care it's gonna get dirty, because this stuff is not too nice to floors. So especially if you're doing this inside your house, I really suggest getting some under your table that you're doing this on. Today I'm using the Famo wood glaze coat, and it's like 70 coats of varnish and a high gloss finish. It should be like a clear finish too, so I just need this thing to be shiny. So it suggests a measuring cup or like a bucket of some sort, stirring stick, a leveler, paintbrush, tarp, an apron, gloves, safety glasses, like a heat gun or hair blower, whatever, some heat source. But I mean, I don't guess you really need an apron. Maybe some safety glasses, probably gloves, level, measuring cup, heat source, and stirring stick. Or you could put a bit in your drill, but I don't have any with me right now, so I can't do that, sadly. So this is what I'm gonna use. It's just maybe like a gallon of space, but it's just a kitchen bowl. But this is what I use for a good bit of things. Just make sure it's clean, because you don't want any hair or dust getting like into your epoxy and up on your table, because you will feel it. Now that I've got it poured in here, I did side B first, and because that's what's recommended, and then I put side A in, and now I got my mixing stick and ready to stir. So I'm gonna stir for about 5 or 6 minutes on a timer, just so I know it's good enough and stirred enough, and then I'll start pouring it. So once you get it all mixed up and pour it on there, mix it for about 10 minutes actually. I don't know why, I just kept mixing because I couldn't find a paintbrush, so I had to try to get the black off of this one, and it worked for the most part, and then it started coming out a little bit right there, so it kind of messed my table up, but it's okay because this is my table. If it was somebody else's, then I would have to restart this, but it's not, and now I'm painting it. What I should have done is taped off my sides though, because I'm dripping a lot. So that's something you should do. But it's looking good, just trying to get it all even. It'd be a lot easier with a roller. So if I have to suggest anything, it'd be to use a roller to do this. You just want to make sure you get your sides too, like get the top as best as you can, and then move on to the sides. And it's a little hard, you can pull a little bit off the top to use on the sides if it's not coming that way, because it's a little tilted towards the other side. That's why it's dripping on this side and not coming off on this side over here. So yeah, but just try to get everything covered up and then even it all back out. Once you get it all poured and set how you like it, you should grab your heat gun and hurry up because it's dripping, and I think you want to try to keep that in place, keep it how it is. But definitely shiny. You can even see my lights off of the top right now. It's definitely for sure shiny.
Once you get everything kind of set to the point you want it, you just want to turn your heat gun on like low if you've got nodes on it. Just kind of like keep it probably 6 inches off and just blow it and just trying to make it set a little bit. And just make sure you get around the edges real good because that's where everything's still a little loose for me.
So far, definitely really shiny, looking good in my opinion. I really wish that hadn't happened with the paintbrush, but I had no other choice, and I already started mixing it and realized I didn't have a brush with me. So yeah, that was my problem. That's why that looks like that, and some of the other places, but it's not as noticeable, but looks really good. So now I think you wait like 48 hours for it to dry. I'll have to check on that, but okay, see y'all then. Here's the final product. And you can see, if you look right in this area, right here, along the left side edge, right there. And then there's a few spots right here. I just didn't hit it enough with the heat gun. And right in this area too, I had to go and put more back on because I ran my heat gun on high. Do not do that, because I ran my heat gun on high and it started burning the epoxy and turned it white. So I had to like brush it off the table onto the tarp that I had down, and I had to pour some more on there, what I had left, and then spread it back over there. I think that's what had messed it up and did that, because I don't think I got enough on there. And yeah, but I think it turned out really good. Definitely very shiny, and it's got a good coat on it for sure. It's definitely protected. Okay, so that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching today. Really appreciate everybody who does watch and subscribe. Really helps me out, and I love sharing stuff like this. This is like one of the things I really enjoy to do. It's just side projects on like wood and whatever I can make. But yeah, it's been fun. See you next time.